Hello, everybody, and welcome to Problem Solve Her, a fun, cool, creative, innovative, and fabulous podcast where women share their stories and experiences and solve problems. Hence, Problem Solve Her. I'm your co-host, Chloe, along with my girl,
Dagmar.
Dagmar's in the house.
We would like to take this moment to thank our sponsors. Bronzea is a mobile spray tanner which can be done in the comfort of your own home. Founded by Gina, an experienced beauty professional with a cosmetology license of over 9 years. Bronzea was birthed by name and cross-pollinated from bronze and dea, meaning goddess in Italian. Gina really missed giving women that inner confidence and glow one spray at a time. So, are you ready to unlock your inner Bronzea and allow Gina to make you feel fabulous before meeting a family affair, maybe a night out with your significant others, or maybe it's ladies' night? So please go to Bronzea Spray Tans at Instagram and use promo code ProblemSolvHer, no E on solve, for the month of September.
Hello, Daggy.
Hi, Chloe. And
How are you?
excited about the topic today.
I'm very excited. Self-care and self-awareness go hand in hand. I'm excited. Talk to me.
So I thought about, for me personally, I really approach self-care from a holistic perspective, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Because I do not believe that if you just take care of your body, what you eat, and you work out physically, but you have negative thoughts all the time and you focus on negative thoughts, that this is really self-care. For me, it's more you choose what you like to do, what you enjoy doing, and you don't do what you really don't enjoy doing. Or perhaps you're not aware of what you just said. Self-awareness goes hand in hand with self-care. So that's why I'm really excited to talk about it. Over the years, I learned, like in my early ages, I focused mostly on physical health. And like if you grow up in my culture, like eating healthy, eating real food is normal, right? It's a no-brainer. You don't have to think about it or make conscious decisions. You grow up with that, and that is just your lifestyle. And later it benefits you. And physically too, like as I grew up, we went hiking or playing in the rivers, and we were really on our own as little kids in the forest, building our little forts, in the rivers, playing pirates or things like that. So we were out and about in nature all the time. And
So
then
much
later
fun.
on, it was like this little fairy tale life. Now looking back, how I grew up, like you don't have to be scared of anything. And we were little. We were perhaps whatever. I was perhaps 6, and my younger sister was 4. And then later, as my youngest sister was with us, she's 10 years younger. Yeah, we were on our own. I mean, there was no adult supervision or whatever. My mom cooked, and then after that we did our homework, and then we left and we came back for dinner.
Is she a good cook?
My dad was a good cook. My mom did not enjoy cooking. My mom was in a wheelchair since I was 12. She had rheumatoid arthritis, and at the time they really didn't have good medicine for it in a way that it didn't affect the other organs, so it destroyed all her organs. She was in a wheelchair, and the illness really took all his toll. And her generation was not used to do self-care, right? So for them, self-care was like sitting outside in nature, doing gardening, and she couldn't do anything, right? So she had crippled hands and crippled feet. So she always needed, my father who later became her caregiver, or in the meantime, where I'm from, we had nuns which would take care of disabled people, or like in my mom's household, because my youngest sister, she was really like a little child. So we had a nun coming like every day, taking care of my mom, taking care of my little sister, things like that. So for her, self-care was depending on somebody else. Funny, like this is so many years ago, when she could go off on her own with the wheelchair, she went into the forest, and then she screamed out all her frustration, her anger, and her bitterness. By that, like at that time, people, if somebody would have heard her, they would thought she's crazy. But now you hear that everywhere, right?
No, people do it all the time. They go into rooms. They
You pay
have
for it now. You pay
classes
for
on
it.
this. Yeah, there's people that teach this. Now everybody all at once, get it all out.
Well,
I mean, yeah,
it's it's just amazing. So yeah, like I love my mom deeply. And she had a really hard, struggling life between her illness and then her mindset became really bitter. So self-care for her and perhaps for her generation was very hard. And had a touch and a taste of selfishness, right? So if you, at this time, if you did self-care, then you didn't put your husband or your children, or
right. It was
society,
considered self-centered, self-absorbed. It's
right?
interesting how times change.
Selfish, like where I'm from, it was considered selfish.
But it's interesting what you bring up about that because I feel like, it's interesting because yes, an American citizen, but because growing up in Jamaica and I was, lucky enough to spend a lot of time in Europe growing up. And I have a cousin who's half Dutch and I have very close family friends in Italy and other parts of Eastern Europe. And my background's Eastern Europe with a touch of British. And I love the UK and the Brits too. I think that the Brits and the Europeans have a very different outlook on food than the Americans do. And they don't put preservatives in, they don't put high fructose corn syrup, and they don't have these larger portions that the Americans do. And I think in terms of self-care in that sense, that Americans are really used to big portions, fast food, all these different antibiotics and things that are pumped into foods. That's why organic and natural is so important, I think. And, there's a saying, you are what you eat. So I can't sit here and say that I'm the epitome of perfect self-care when it comes to food and things like that. But I do organically. I would say 90% of what's in my fridge is organic. And the only thing you will find in there in terms of liquids is red wine and water. And people come over and they're like, there's no soda, there's no juice, there's no gin. I'm like, red wine and water. Take your pick because red wine's good for your heart and you have to drink a lot of H2O.
Yeah. The truth really is, Chloe, you my idol for self-care from a mental and emotional perspective.
Thank you. That's so
Because
kind.
you are really like a role model for setting boundaries, saying no, being very aware of who you are, who the other person is, and making conscious decisions when to stay in a conversation, when to leave a conversation, when come back into a conversation. I approach that more logical, right? But it's not with the focus of self-care. It's really with the focus of results. So sometimes it drains me a lot and it's working, but it's not self-care from a perspective that my focus would be holistically balanced in feeling good and doing things what makes me feel good and happy or balanced or peaceful, right? A lot of times I do things because they move me forward.
I love that because self-care has so many meanings and it's not just about, like you said, what we put in our bodies and our mouths and staying in the sun too long or living in a city where there's so much pollution. You're saying the emotional side of it and the balance of it is just as important, which I love. And I thank you for that. But you're my role model for self-care as well, because when I met you, and I said this to you the first time in person, after we had already worked together for a year and a half and hadn't met yet, I was like, I thought you were like 40 max because not because you have a small, nice fit frame, which you do, but because you look youthful. I think also the way that people smile has a lot to do with how their age looks. And just like the way you were smiling and your skin and you got these big, like ocean blue eyes. And I was like, oh my God, Daggy, you look you look so young. You can pretend you're my fake age, 38. So I think that you really are consciously aware of what it means to take care of yourself inside and out, mentally. I said mentally, it's a new word. Mentally, physically, and emotionally. And you're constantly working on yourself. And I'm so in awe of that because a lot of people don't want to look at themselves. And that's part of our self-care. And then another part of it is, I said the sun before because my brother is like this huge advocate about you need the sun, but not too much sun. But when you're putting lotions on your body and your face, there's chemicals in them. And think about before that, what did people do? They didn't. They laid in the sun a certain amount of time. Remember The elderly women, they take it looks like a mirror and they go like this and they lay it out so that the sun would hit faster and, wear a hat and sit in his whole thing is wear a hat, sit in the shade. You don't need lotion because the oils and all these things have the chemicals in them. But another alternative to that and self-care and not getting too much sun or putting lotions on is to do the spray tans, which our sponsor Bronzea does. It's a natural product and it's not harmful. And instead of going to the sun, and it gives you a nice glow, which a lot of women like because they'll say, oh my God, I look so pale. I'm not tan right now and I have to go to an event. But, a little glow will help. So Bronzea Spray Tans on Instagram. Hit up Gina if you're in South Florida. She will come to you anywhere in South Florida.
I
But
love that. And I love the
yeah,
most about her that she does it mobile.
yeah.
Because
She goes right to you.
in reality, with the busy schedule we all have, but sometimes you just cannot put in the driving time, right? Going there. And honestly, if you're an introvert, you're not in the mood to drive anywhere. I love that approach, and especially now, right? Now these days where they worked so much on the technology. Like if you did the tanning or spray tan, whatever, many years ago, there was the result you got perhaps was great too, but the chemicals or the approach and everything
Exactly. It's so different now.
compared to now. What I like about the mobile spray tanning is I know from my culture where you have a lot of misty, dark, cold days, right? That it can really affect your mood. When you look in the mirror, you look like half dead.
100%.
And especially, I think perhaps men have the same. I think for us women, when we look in the mirror and we look youthful, we like how we look and we like us. It just gives you more energy. It gives you more belief in yourself and your capabilities.
Absolutely. Confidence.
We would like to take this moment and break in the episode to thank our sponsors. Robin Lord Law is New Jersey's premier criminal defense attorney for over 2 decades. Robin believes in justice for all and an aggressive legal approach in the courtroom, defending her clients with facts and passion. With an extremely high success rate, Robin has caught a lot of attention in the media with her bold approach in the courtroom and fabulous style. For more information, please contact Robin directly at robinlordlaw.com.
Confidence. And if you think, and it's the same with like, I'm using the product from Etsy from the Shine Girl, right? And it's the same. You can do so much working on your spiritual self-care and negative thoughts and faith and everything. But we all have our weekdays, right? Where we just struggle, and having something a little bit what just pumps you up, where you don't have to put so much effort in
Oh, I love
to
that.
get the result. But do you know what she's charging for it?
Well, I don't want to give the price out because for the month of September, she's giving a special code to anyone that's listening and watching. And the code is ProblemSolvHer, no unsolved, and for the whole month. And there's 30 days in September. So sign up soon. She's in all of South Florida. And again, she's been a cosmetologist for 10 years and she's young. She started young. She was in hair for a long time. She's fabulous with hair and makeup and the spray tanning she used to do. And then she started it again because she really wanted to give people that glow and she wanted women to feel good. She said, I miss doing that. And I love that for her. So I'm really happy for her in that sense. The other thing is, I was just thinking about in terms of self-care and like you said, having that glow and just something that's simple and not a lot of effort. A lot of women today are kind of doing this challenge where they're just not wearing makeup and they just put on a little lip gloss like you and I have on now and they go out. And for me, it's not a challenge. I love it, especially if I have a little color on my face. But someone I worked with, and she just kind of had her, I want to say, second run in Hollywood, Pamela Anderson. She did a fabulous movie called Showgirl, this independent. Oh, she was so good. If you haven't seen it, people, please. You can watch it, I think, on Hulu and Prime. And she doesn't wear makeup anymore. And I worked with her, I want to say about 8 years ago. And we honored her at one of our annual galas, the nonprofit that I ran in New York. And then she was wearing makeup and all dressed up and her sons are with her and everyone was dolled up in the Gucci's and the Pradas and the beep, the bop. And now she's so fabulous. She just said, I'm so done with makeup. It takes so long. I can't be bothered. And MAC, even though they're a makeup company, has just took her on as their new model to do a natural look. Okay. So whatever that means, it's very light makeup, but she looks natural. But in reality, the most of the time she's not wearing it at all. So I encourage women in terms of self-care when it comes to that. Do what you want. If you don't feel like wearing makeup to an event, to a wedding, just throw on some lip gloss, get a spray tan from Gina, just blow your hair out and have a little tan on your face. That's it. What else do you really need? Because makeup for us, for whatever reason, women feel like we need it to sometimes to feel prettier, to look better, to look more awake, to look more alive. What do men do? They don't even wash their face, okay? To the 25% of men watching. Listening. Okay, fine. Maybe you wash your face, but they're not getting facials. They're not dermaplaning their face. They're not doing rejuvenations and all these things. They're just, slapping on a little cologne, a little wash the face.
Yeah. I like what you just said, because what you're saying is do what makes you feel good and don't do it because you want to hide behind a mask. But like where I come from, a cultural thing in business, you wear makeup, you wear suits, you wear blouses and everything, and it becomes your shield, right? Because it makes you look competent, it makes you look successful, it makes you look professional and everything. And if you don't have it, for whatever reason, if there is a day where you didn't get it together, you are running too late, then immediately you don't feel competent, you don't feel professional. So for me, self-care is you need to feel it within you to be independent from the outside. If you enjoy wearing suits, if you enjoy wearing makeup, go for it. Like, it's beautiful. If you have to do it anyway. And don't make how you feel about yourself depending on that, right?
100%.
So like with your spray tan, use it as an enrichment. Don't use it as a cover-up.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. That's so great. It's funny what you said about the dressing up. All my years living and working in New York City. And, when you run a nonprofit 4 nights a week, you're running
You're gone.
around to other events trying to get the same donors that
I
are
was
going to those.
there. Yep.
Those
Saturday,
parties
Sunday,
and
every
getting them
night.
to be your donor for your event. Because I'm 2 months left and I have all my co-chairs, but I still have these 5 VIP tables to sell. And I would wear these heels. Okay. So I'm out how many, like I said, how many days a week? Think about how many times a month and how many hours you add it all up. You're like, geez, I'm wearing heels for like 42 hours for the last 3 weeks. So I would go home in my apartment. I had the best apartment on 89th Street in Amsterdam. I'm not going to give the exact address. I don't want people showing up there. I don't live there anymore. I had a fabulous roof deck with the coolest doorman. And I come in and my doorman, Ralph would always say, Chloe, what are you doing? Why are you wearing those things? I'm like, Ralph, my feet. And I would go in Dagmar and I would lay flat on my back and I'd put my legs up on the wall and let all the blood drain down because I was swelling. So, and I would sit there for 45 minutes and read a book and let all of it drain out. Who wants to do that? I barely wear heels the last 5 years because I'm so resentful for all that. I don't
I
wear them anymore.
fall with heels. I cannot wear heels. I wear my Birkenstock. Heels kill me.
Your what? Your Birkenstock?
I have beautiful Birkenstock.
Birkenstocks. Birkenstocks are back big time. But I have to tell you, when a guy wears them, it's a turn off for me. I don't know what it is.
Okay,
Women,
good,
it's
good
cute.
for you. I like guys who wear Birkenstock. They are very nature loving.
I can't do it. Those, and what's the other ones? They call them like the Velcro Jesus looking shoes. The ones where those I can't do either. Nope. Or when a guy wears a pointy dress shoe. See, this is the things that women do. We're funny like that. We have these little quirks. But what matters is the inside. And
Inside
if a
and
person,
outside.
if they're loving, if they're kind, if they're caring, I want a guy who's into self-care, 100%. I want a guy who picks up after himself. That's part of self-care. I want a guy who takes care of himself, who cleans up, who doesn't leave dishes. If I go into a man's apartment and I see towels on the floor, if I see the cap on the toothpaste all over the place, toilet seat up, dishes in the sink, I mean, I'm out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because you're telling me that self-care is not important, that a woman's coming over that you like and you don't even clean up. I don't like a messy household. I think it creates chaos in your brain and clutter. And I don't think people that are successful are messy. Oprah Winfrey, Bill Gates, a lot of some of the really biggest successful people in the world have said the first thing you do before you start your day, after, you get up, you go to the bathroom, you have your coffee, your mantra, you make your bed. Because once you make the bed, it sets the tone for the day. Anyone whose bed is not made and it's like 11, 12, noon, 1 o'clock, and I go to a friend's house, and I'm like, what's up with your bed? I mean, if I walked in and see that, I would be like, I wouldn't close any deals. Because in my mind, the bed has to be made and it has to look good.
Absolutely. I think we have to have another episode about self-care because we're coming to the end of this one. So what's your one message you want to share with our listeners about the topic?
You're beautiful inside and out. You don't need anything but you to shine for your self-care. Be you, and also take care of yourself, and drink lots of water and sleep, 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 sleep.
My message is do what feels good.
Oh, you always give one, but mine, I can't. Just too long.
I know. 6 to 8, but I got used to it.
Yeah. All right. But this is who we are.
Yeah. That's why we fit perfect together.
We also are going to be doing another episode on pets because we have had so many big numbers on that, including someone, we're just going to give a teaser, who I grew up with, who's a massive dog trainer, trained dogs for the FBI, CIA. And there are so many dog parents out there that cannot properly train their dog. They try to do it on their own. I need him to help me with I want him to hear me, stay home alone and be more independent alone. So he's going to be on soon. We're really excited about that. And actually, I just got a great email from someone who wants to be on as well. Things are happening here at ProblemSolvHer.com. No E on solve. Spotify. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere you guys are. And listen, people, coaching sessions for the fall. This is the great time. It's the last quarter of the year. Get your house in order. Contact Dagmar for all your business needs. If you need structuring, if you need really to just fine tune and really get that house in order, like I said, and you need the organization for either a new business or one that you really just need to kind of revamp and put all the pieces together and work on your SEO and your SEM and the website and the marketing and everything else that you need to do to monetize your passions. Daggie's the girl. Daggie's the girl.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And everybody who wants to create change and results, Chloe, without any questions.
See, Dagmar is so good. She's so German like that, straight to the point. I have to give my long Jewish answers and like my whole thing. We all love you.
All have different paths going to the same.
It's the same. We all want the same thing. And we all want to be loved at the end of the day. Everybody just wants to be loved.
Yes.
So we love you. We hear you. We see you. ProblemSolvHer.com. Love you, everybody.
Love you. Bye.
Oh.
Just a quick note before we end. This conversation is for inspiration and empowerment only. It's not medical, mental health, or legal advice. We are not doctors, therapists, or lawyers. Just women sharing real stories and personal truth. Always seek professional guidance for your unique situation.